Now today's football news and action from Granada land.
A very good evening to you. Another grim experience at Old Trafford today, despite the highest attendance ever in Premiership history. Well, it was Fenerbahce on Wednesday, it was Chelsea today. They took the lead through Michael Dewberry, and then Gianluca Vialli scored as well to give Chelsea a 2-0 lead, and then David May scored to give United a little bit of hope after 81 minutes, but it was not to be. Playing tomorrow, Blackburn Rovers, who will go off the bottom, against Liverpool, even if Blackburn win. And on Monday, it's Everton against Coventry City. Right, let's just have a look at the top. Arsenal lead the way. Then it's Newcastle, Liverpool in third place, followed by Wimbledon, Chelsea and Manchester United, 19 points, 6 points adrift from Newcastle. Now, Jim's sitting in with us this afternoon because there are a couple of major talking points. Firstly, Jim, I mean, what is going on at Manchester United? You were there for the Champions League game on Wednesday. Can you put your finger on it?
I think it's plain and simply a confidence crisis by now. I mean, the results at St James's Park in the Dell were completely unexpected, two unbelievable shocks. And I think to lose in the Champions League as well, that's what it is. You know, I haven't seen, obviously, today's game, but it would appear that, you know, that they're suffering confidence-wise.
And of course he's changing his team quite a bit. I mean, good managers know their best team.
That doesn't help, yeah. I mean, the 5 signings during the summer gave him more options. That's always helpful. But the fact that he doesn't know his right formation, his right team now, I think that's a fact. OK. Well, in the Nationwide League, Bolton are the tops in every respect. First Division leaders, they're the leading scorers as well. Colin Todd, Manager of the Month for October. And who'd bet against them going straight back into the Premier League the way they're going at the moment? Mike Sadler.
To say Bolton bossed the first half would be something of an understatement. Alan Thompson's near miss, foreshadowing things to come. And when John McGinley again came within inches of scoring, well, the town defence really should have heeded the warning. They didn't, and a typically fluent move ended in Jimmy Phillips setting up Alan Thompson, who scrambled home his 6th of the season to give Wanderers a thoroughly deserved half-time lead. Mind you, only Keith Brannigan's alertness kept Tom Cowan's shot out before Alan Thompson oh so nearly scored again as the second half exploded into life. At times, Wanderers played quite brilliantly. Another day, Michael Johansson would have made it 2-0 after an hour. Nobody, though, was worried, least of all John McGinley. He's scored in Bolton's last 5 games now. Today, his 13th of the season, a typical McGinley strike. And partner Nathan Blake almost made it 3-0, but who cares? 14 matches unbeaten now for Wanderers. Top dogs looking down on the rest of Division 1.
Well, early days for Steve Coppell since he took over at Manchester City, but there have been definite signs of improvement, although not on a consistent basis. 2-0 at Swindon this afternoon, no points. Jonathan Parry.
After a welcome if somewhat precarious midweek win at Southend, Steve Coppell's men were looking to consolidate against old boy Steve McMahon's Swindon. But in a scrappy and physical first half, only Nicky Summerby and Paul Dickoff really threatened to stretch homekeeper Fraser Digby. Meanwhile, City keeper Andy Dibble had only really one save to make of any significance. But a vital one it was. Kit Simons hauling down Wayne Allison in the box, but Dibble equal to Kevin Horlock's weakly struck spot kick. But the City keeper's moment of heroism only lasted a few seconds, and was followed by a moment of near farce. An amazing lapse of concentration, which nearly sent the Blues in 1 down at half-time. In the second half, Dibble made amends, tipping over brilliantly from Lee Collins. But the keeper could do nothing about Wayne Allison's goal. The big centre-forward simply given too much room to work with. Not even the invention and sporadic brilliance of Georgie Kincladze could rescue City today. He was denied by Digby after a magical jinking run, the best City could muster. Wayne Allison grabbed his second to wrap up the match late on, Steve Cowie providing the cross. Sadly, not one of City's most distinguished away days, tempers flaring on the final whistle.
No, not a good start to November for Manchester City. Well, October was certainly a fluctuating month for Stoke, a real mix of getting it right and getting it wrong. This afternoon at Loftus Road, it was somewhere in between, I suppose. Mark Alderton.
After their 4-1 midweek mauling at the hands of Oxford, Lou Macari's 7th place Stoke had the perfect first half pick-me-up. Graham Kavanagh making his 4th minute opener look easy, but his flag-waving make-a-point style of celebrations may not go down too well with the FA, and he may well run into some trouble over them. With 8 goals conceded in the last 3 league games, the Potters' leaky defence held out until the 65th minute, when after almost constant Rangers pressure, Trevor Sinclair's acrobatic finish left City's keeper Muggleton grounded. Both sides had opportunities to secure the 3 points, but it finished a goal apiece.
Jim, Graham Kavanagh's celebration scene, I thought Mark put it quite well there. You know, surely the FA have got to take that into account.
I think he's going to hear some more about that. I mean, it was an outrageous act. It's a bad enough thing to do to your own fans, jokingly, but to do to the away support, then, you know, it's nothing short of scandalous. And I mean,
that could incite a riot.
Absolutely.
That could incite a pitch
it is
invasion.
incitement. I think the QPR fans deserve credit for the way they reacted. They restrained themselves. But, you know, I mean, if he'd let it go, if it had slipped by mistake, it could have been a complete disaster, couldn't it?
OK, well, he should be banned and fined, no question about that. Now, after 1 win in 10 games, Tranmere manager John Aldridge said, right, enough's enough, and made sweeping changes that brought about 2 wins. Now, Crystal Palace aren't quite the acid test in Division 1, but they're not far off, and they proved that at Prenton Park this afternoon. Mark Alderton again.
Revitalised Rovers, with their push for promotion back on course, took an early lead. Andy Thorne's near-post flicked header, putting them ahead after 3 minutes. But free-scoring in-form Palace was soon back on level terms. Dougie Freedman's accurate pass, picked up by Andy Dyer, whose jinking run and powerful finish made it 1-1 after 15 minutes. In the second half, Rovers' defence failed to cope with Mark Edworthy's cross, and Palace's joint leading scorer, Dougie Freedman, was on hand to head home. And there was further cause for celebration when, on 85 minutes, David Hopkin made it 3-1 and 3 points for Palace.
Right, the bottom 2 in the First Division, and well done Eldon, well done Stuart Barlow, his first senior hat-trick, giving Eldon a 3-0 win, and Port Vale winning 3-0 as well. So let's have a look at the top of Division 1, just see how we stand there. 6 points the difference now between Bolton and Norwich. Tranmere in 6th place, and at the bottom, Oldham have moved up 2 places, and I must say, Jim, it's good to see them off the bottom. What a great win, what a valuable win that was at Bradford today.
Well, it was a fantastic win for them. I'm pleased for them all round. I mean, they managed to generate a marvellous spirit to get out of trouble towards the end of last season, and it looks like they're doing it again now, and thankfully earlier this time around, and I'm sure that will hugely boost their confidence.
OK, well, you've been watching Preston this afternoon. They've been in the bottom 6 of the Second Division for exactly a month now. Only 1 win in that time, Jim. But have they been showing signs of recovery? I mean, undefeated again today, but uninspiring as well.
I've seen them earlier in the season at home against Millwall, in fact, and they played extremely well that day. But today, especially at the start of both halves, Rotherham were the livelier side. I mean, Mark Druce was their villain. This one was a great chance to at least hit the target, completely missed it. Second half, Preston came more into it. The substitute, Michael Holt, tested the keeper. He was able to get back in, but Preston never really played that well, and this was probably their best chance. Holt miskicked. His second effort was blocked, and it was left really to Neil MacDonald to have the final say. Keeper had a marvellous save, but no, Preston were certainly not firing on all cylinders. Far from it.
4 games, though, Jim, undefeated. Right, Stockport, just 1 defeat in 13 league and cup games. Some recent track record before today's game with Bristol City. But I think Stockport will regard that as 2 points dropped. Jonathan Parry.
Joe Jordan's Bristol City are a tough nut to crack these days. The division's highest scorers and one of the meanest defences around. But Stockport's Sean Connolly nearly prized them open on 22 minutes. Only the post denying County the lead. But then just before half-time, Bristol City grabbed a vital opening goal. Former Manchester United favourite Clayton Blackmore stooping to head home from Paul Agostino's cross. Tom Bennett rescued a late point for Stockport with an 83rd minute equaliser. 1-1 the final score.
Well, here are the results, or some of the results in Division 2. Bournemouth 1, Bury 1. Crewe winning by 3-0 against Wickham. Good to see them scoring again. And Blackpool getting a credible point at Barry Fry's Peterborough. Well, after looking rock solid at the back since... sorry, 2 other results. Wrexham, well done. They're only 1 defeat this season, and York 1, Burnley 0. Right, well, after looking rock solid at the back since early September, that's what I was saying before, Jim, Chester leaked 6 goals in the space of 3 days, but they won 1-0 at Doncaster today. We can have a look at that goal now. A set-piece well executed by Peter Jackson.
Well, they always bring Jackson up for the set-pieces, big centre-back, and the keeper should have done a little bit better there, but I'm sure he'll be happy to take it.
Yeah, and they'll be happy with the points as well. Well, Rochdale have hauled themselves clear of the Nationwide League's trapdoor, 16 points from 8 games. Exeter very much second best at Spotham this afternoon. Let's hear from Mike Sadler.
2 set-piece goals put paid to Exeter, both in the first half. First Keith Hill, and then the man he hugged there, his central defensive partner Alan Johnson, made it 2-0 to Dale. Believe me, they're the form team. 8 matches unbeaten now for Graham Barrow's side. 2-0 it finished.
And one other excellent result in Division 3, Wigan. That takes them up to 3rd place with goals by Isidro Diaz and Andy Seville, their record signing his first goal for the club. OK, that's all from us, from Jim and myself. Bye-bye. Have a good weekend. Bye-bye.